Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about what are some of the ways that you can listen for the things that are important to take notes on and let some of the other things pass through that filter. Okay? So here it is, the passive and the active listener. The passive listeners hear and do not comprehend, like this poor sister who isn't really hearing at all, okay? Or the active listener and tries to make sense. This is like a student of Mr. Jose Simo at College of the Desert, because he did a presentation. I did a presentation for him in a college success course over at COD. Is anyone taking that college success course at COD? Is anyone taking that? I encourage you to do that, because a lot of those materials are some of the things that I'm covering in here too, essentially becoming a master's student. College success strategies, okay? Right? So here, this is what we're going to do. This is where it turns into now your opportunity to go ahead and assess yourself in terms of note-taking. How effective are your note-taking skills? And this is something taken from a book called The Confident Student. As an active listener, okay, active learner, excuse me, review and look which trends on which to focus. Typical problems with note-taking can be addressed with the 3 different methods that we're going to be talking about today. All right. As I walk around the room, looks like folks have been able to decide whether they're yes or no's. So this is, again, a quick assessment. If you answered no to any of these questions on sort of your awareness of your own note-taking skills, and this is an assessment, an opportunity to become aware of where you are with note-taking, okay? If you answered no, but particularly if you answered no to these last 2 down here, the last 2 being, are you able to distinguish the speaker's main ideas from examples that illustrate them? And as you read notes, are you able to reconstruct in your mind what the lecture was about? If you answered no, okay, to the last 2 and some other no's up above, then your note-taking skills may need some improvement. Did anyone answer no to either 9 or 10? Okay. And that's fair. I'm not asking y'all to put a red badge of courage saying I need to improve my note-taking. But again, this is really good for you to go ahead and take some of these assessments to kind of see where you can benefit. Because if this is a skill that seems to be important and you can actually answer yes to that, then you're really on your way. If you're not, then we can learn a little bit more about this. Make sense? All right. The first method. How many of you have heard of Cornell method? Ad nauseum, right? Everyone has heard of Cornell. In fact, many of these things that I downloaded this sheet of paper, I downloaded this cool little font, all right? You can actually download this paper off the internet. I saw this thing before, people said, free paper off the internet. I'm like, that's really kind of dumb. I'm just going to get paper off my printer, right? But you can buy it, or you can actually just download it, and it'll print it just like this in perfect Cornell format for you. So instead of having to actually go out and buy Cornell paper or whatever the case may be, you can just go ahead and download it, print it, and then I just downloaded this dorky little font. It was kind of cool. It looks like it's handwritten, but maybe not. Okay? And this is what it is, essentially. This is an example of Cornell, how to take Cornell, notes on taking Cornell being taken in the Cornell method. How avant-garde. Okay, note-taking, the subject, Cornell notes. And these are all the different characteristics of Cornell. I believe I left that in your packet, right? You can take a look at that and walk away with what Cornell is all about. Physically set up, Cornell, you create a 2.5-inch margin. The use of space, each part of the page has a different purpose. The right side here, the main notes. The left-hand side are terms or ideas, schematics, and the bottom is a summary. How many of you currently use Cornell method? Is it helpful? Yes? Okay, so this is nothing new. This is nothing new. For some folks, well, back in the Stone Age when I was in school, we didn't really use Cornell. As you could tell from the example I showed before, that person falling asleep. But if you need a refresher on Cornell, these notes on Cornell are actually written in Cornell style. So take a look in there, all right? Bartouche. How many of you heard of the Bartouche method? Do you use Bartouche currently? No? Okay. Bartouche is a variation on Cornell. All right? And this is also written, these notes on the Bartusch method are written Bartusch style. Divide the paper into 2 sections, and again, you can download this. This is a link, which I can't even read right now, but again, it's available. Divide the paper into 2 sections, 6 inches on one side, 2.5 on the other. Take notes on the larger part of the page, and then main ideas stand out. Examples, definitions are intended and numbered, so that's really important for you to keep order with the number and the numbering and the sequence series here. Leave space between main ideas in order for you to add different things. At the end of the day, fill in key phrases and questions that will aid you recalling information. This is also a great way to probably prepare for office hours as you start to anticipate and build on your knowledge. What are some of these phrases and questions that will aid you in recalling things? How does this help you prepare to walking into class as if you were walking into a pop quiz? Okay? This is a great method to help you prepare that way. It's not only enough to go ahead and understand what's going on in class, but what do you do with that information and create questions for yourself that kind of help you prepare, get you ready for a test or a quiz, right? Does this make sense to folks? Okay, so again, I'm trying to synthesize what I'm putting up here, some of the previous comments I've already made to you about just showing up and being prepared before and after class. Cluster method. How many of you heard of the cluster method? This is a great way for folks to learn how to, not learn how to, but to go ahead and put together like an essay. So you have an essay test, and you say, comment on the great literary writers of the French period between French toast and French fries. I don't know, whatever, right? You can use cluster method to go ahead and do that. And this is essentially here a cluster method of developmental psychology. Or Skinner, this is a particular theorist. Okay? This is really good for visual learners. We do a workshop here for folks with different learning styles. I do an assessment, a workshop like this. What's your best learning style? Are you auditory? Are you kinesthetic? Are you visual? Okay, for folks who are visual learners, this is fantastic. Okay? More than recall, it really helps learn and review relationships between different kinds of concepts. This is really good for writing essays, essay tests, taking notes in textbooks, brainstorming. However, it's not as effective for lecture notes because to a certain degree you don't know what's coming out of the lecturer's mouth, right? So this is really good in terms of working with your texts and stuff, possibly some of your presentations that are on Blackboard and whatnot, okay? There is, I believe in your handout here, and I didn't put it as a slide here. Thanks, Carla. Thanks for letting me take your packet. I put in here actually a cluster method look at what note-taking is about. So isn't that kind of cool? Bartusch, written in Bartusch. Cornell, written in Cornell. Note-taking, written in cluster. But some of the stuff that's here too, if you look at this, there are a number of different things that are here in terms of like general tips, specific tips, visual tools, store and organize, and why note-taking is important. This is a way of doing all of this. Let's say you're taking a particular exam. This is a good way for you to go ahead and work out the outline of your essay. Yes, sir?
What would you use to build one of those mind maps?
Say that again?
What software would you use to build one of these mind maps?
A mind map. Is there? I'm not sure if anyone is aware of, I'm not sure if I'm aware of any software that you can, Visio might be, that's good for flowcharts, I guess. The question was, what kind of software is out there that can help folks work with sort of essentially these kinds of mind maps, essentially. Now there's Visio. I don't know if anyone has heard of Visio, but it's actually flowchart. It's flowchart software. Yeah. So it's like if then, then go back. It's almost like a lot of ways in which they do programming for computers. If yes, if no, go back, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of this, it almost seems almost faster to do it by hand. I don't know if there's a way that folks use this on a computer. I'm not saying it's not possible. I just haven't heard of it. Do they have it in PowerPoint? Yeah? Do you use it?
No, I do by hand.
Oh, okay. Ariana Alva says they have it in PowerPoint. Which version are you using? Just any old version? Like 2007?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, by the way, she's on the soccer team at COD. When's your home game?
Today
What time?
at 4,
Who are you playing?
we're playing Imperial Valley.
Are they any good?
We beat them last night 3-2.
Good. Right on.
Thank you.
Very nice. Ariana Alva, thank you. All right. She's representing you in the Valley. Yay! So PowerPoint is a way to do that too. Okay? And that might be a way for you to relearn material. That might be a way that you, instead of rewriting your notes, sometimes you might actually just put it on a computer, make it more legible. That's perfectly fine too. Okay? So here are some of the strategies. Aside from here are the methods, the question then now is, how do you use it? How do you go ahead and pick through all the stuff that's flying at you from lectures, from this, that, and the other? Okay? We need to listen for signal words. Because, you know, when people say, like, I highlight a book, but you know what? The whole book is highlighted. Guess what? That means if you highlighted everything, you highlighted nothing. Does that make sense? You're like, the whole damn book is highlighted. Why did I even try, right? In the same way with note-taking, you know, you can take all the notes. I'm sure you didn't take anything of our interchange here about soccer and all that other stuff, okay? Some people might because they don't know what's important because they didn't pick up on the key signal words, okay? What we're going to do is